Hey everyone, this is TornApathy here, and this is episode 3 of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, the battle at Goblin Village. So I was looking forward to this episode because I wanted to see how far they were going to go into everything. No spoilers till the end, anyway. And so I was very excited. I wanted to see the animation and the thought process and ideas on what they were going to do, and I was happy to say the least. I thought I was glad what they did. They have yet to trail off from the source material, which is the light novel. Not to be confused with the web novel. There is two. There's the web novel and the light novel. They're actually they're different. They really are. I started reading the web novel a little bit. I found a translation, so I'm going to start divulging into that a little bit, and they are different. So, with that being said, it's the anime is based more off of the actual light novel, and it's actually fantastic. I think it's a great series. I'm loving what they're doing with it. There is some bloodshed. Just goes with the territory. It's pretty good overall what they're doing with it. The fight that Rimuru, whatever the main character's name is, I'm the slime. I hate to say that, but I'll learn it. I will learn it, so that way I can actually pronounce it correctly. So that way you know who I'm talking about. His fight with one of the dire wolves, it was awesome, to say the least. So there was some great action scenes. Not too crazy, but um, nothing that I would say people who are into this sort of stuff would be crazy to say it's bad, right? Uh, the animation, again, great. Audio is amazing. I think the voice actors do a really great job with everything. So I say that's a positive unto itself. I also think that the plot is going very, very well. You'll start noticing there's going to be some changes over within the next few episodes on where things start taking us. But I'm hoping that they stick with what the source material says, and they don't go too off the wall with a difference on that front. I'm especially excited to see some of the later episodes, which I know what's going to happen already, but I think seeing it visually will be a completely different thing than what I think it is. So I'm excited about that front. Episode 4 will probably be a little bit. It's more of a filler episode. I'll tell you right now, unless they streamline it really fast. If they streamline it, you'll see two things happen. You'll see within the first 15 minutes that bridge, and then you'll see the last 15 minutes something completely different, or they might just use it as a complete filler episode altogether. I don't know how they're going to do it 100%, but I'm thinking it's going to be more of a true filler episode. You'll see all of the episode 23 minutes or so in the Dwarven Kingdom, essentially, if you watched till the end. So that is pretty much it. No spoiler alerts for episode 4 because I haven't unless they change something completely up with what I think they're going to do. It should still be the same with what I'm expecting. So with that being said, let's talk about some finer details. So again, recap. This is spoiler time, so do not listen to this or watch this if you have not seen the episode yet. This is for people who have seen the episode and want more information, and are trying to get a better idea of what's happened, per se. So essentially, let's rate the anime. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. It's one of my top 3 series for the fall right now. Between this, Goblin Slayer, and Ulysses. I think those are my top three overall. After that, there are some new series that are starting to come out now. I don't think I'm gonna pick up because they're like 10 minutes. I don't even know what they call them. They're just not for me. If they're not full episodes, like 23 minutes, I don't want anything to do with it. So that being said, let's go over the importance of what happens in this episode and what at the end. So, uh, obviously, Rimuru as a named slime, the importance of that. He was actually named by a dragon, one of the top creatures in this series. Like, you cannot go any higher than the dragon. Like, the dragon is supreme leader, and especially the uh, Valdor, his name dragon. Now, if you also remember episode 1, they're actually, or episode 2, they are together. They're family. They're named. The dragon named him, and he's also brought him into his family. So it's a full named creature. So what happens is, because he is a named creature based off of a dragon, his abilities and everything else start superseding most of the creatures that would probably lay waste to him normally, just because of the fact that he is a slime. Now, also, there are some things that make him a lot more overpowered than normally that you'd even see even if he was a named slime just from the dragon. His ability Predator, Great Sage, there's a bunch of stuff that he actually received when he was actually transferring over from one realm to the next. So if you rewatch episode 1, when he actually, that voice in his head is talking to him and listing those things, those are actually those are his abilities that he's getting to go into the next, that no other creature really has. The Predator ability, of course, to absorb any other creature that he fights and take their abilities. The Great Sage was essentially like a cheat device that tells him how to move forward without even trying, to say the least, and then a few other things. So you'll notice as the series goes along, it he sort of downplays himself a lot because he has no frame of reference, right? So he doesn't understand exactly how powerful he really is compared to other creatures. Again, I'm not going to go further past this episode at this time frame because I will later. I'll explain more about people he meets and things like that. So with that being said, all the creatures that he meets right now are very beginner level esque. Goblins, the dire wolves, those are very beginner creatures. Like, yes, they should be able to normally beat a slime, but because of where he is, who he is, and what he is, his abilities far supersede any of those other ones. That's why the goblins immediately are like, oh my god, who are you? Like, what are you? You're not a normal slime. That's why. The direwolf is like, no, this is a slime. Like, I should be able to fucking beat a slime, right? Realizing, no, he can't beat the slime, obviously. Gets absorbed. The tribe comes in under him, right? That's what happens at the end. The direwolf tribe goes in underneath uh, Rimuru. I'm going to keep butchering his name. I'm just going to call him Ri. R-I, right? Ri. So with that being said, Ri then at the end turns around and starts naming the other creatures, the goblins and the dire wolves. And you see him go into this sleep mode. I was going to say like a hiatus, but that's a bad word for it, right? Essentially a sleep mode. What essentially happens, and they explain in the anime, is that his Magiculus essentially depletes. It goes past the threshold where he should normally be, and it shuts him down, so that way he can't do any more. Essentially, in most circumstances, if a creature would expend all of their Magiculus, they would die. They would not come back to life. because of his great sage ability, the his depletion of Magicalist, once it gets to a certain point, it literally stops him and it shuts him down so he can regenerate and recoup to a certain point where he's all back to normal. So you'll see that. So he names Rangu, which is the direwolf, who then becomes a Tempest Wolf, which is the upgraded version. Now, disclaimer. Most of the time, it wouldn't go directly from a direwolf to a Tempest Wolf. It would actually go to a different version, but because the way the direwolf breed is, they actually have the ability to take on the elements of creatures or their environments, right? Because Re is Re Tempests, which means that he is part of the storm elements or lightning, thunder type things. The creatures under him, which are the direwolves, become Tempest Wolves, right? So that's why they get the horn, everything else. So they start evolving those aspects. I don't know if they'll go into this in episode 4 or later, but I feel it's a good point to bring up now, so that way you understand later on when you start seeing things happen at that point. The goblins go into hobgoblins, and then the males, and then the females go into gobelinas. The only thing I didn't really like about that transaction was that most of the time with hobgoblins, they always became a different color depending on which fantasy series and yada yada, right? The other crazy thing is that when they transferred, they actually got more human-esque. They got stronger, and they also got more intelligent. The also thing was that they obviously clearly leveled up, right? So that was the major difference, especially the females. I forgot to throw out there. This will become. It starts becoming a little bit Ecchi later on, hindsight, but whatever. I'll throw that in the writing review. So you'll notice that major difference between those two creatures, right? So the other thing was that when they receive names, they get a portion of whatever Magicalist is coming from whoever is naming them. So the stronger the namer, the stronger the stronger that they become overall. In fact, if you notice, the elder, who was ancient, very old as a goblin, because they don't live that long in this series, became a lot younger, and obviously beast mode. He's showing off his muscles all the time now. So, because of that avenue. Now, there was a second thing in there that I want to throw out there that you start understanding later. He actually gave, what is it? I can't remember the leader's name. It's Re something, Rumad or something like that. I'll have to start paying attention better to the pronunciations. He gets a title, so that not only makes him a named creature, but it makes him a titled named creature, which actually makes him a lot more stronger than even the normal subsects of goblins and hobgoblins and things like that. That's why if you notice, you can see the leveling up avenue. So that becomes important later on as well, especially with the things that he starts doing. You won't see too many branches off of the main character, Re. For the most part, you'll see some things bounce here and there, but it won't be for very long. It'll just essentially show them what they're doing and then bounce back to the main character, which is good. Well, hopefully, I'm assuming right now, so I'm hoping that they'll do that because that's how it is in the light novel. I'm assuming it will be the same in the anime. With that being said, episode 4, it's probably just going to be a filler episode. You'll be introduced to new characters for the most part, get a little bit more story. Episode 5 is where it really will start getting fun. Episode 6 will really start getting fun. Um, I would say by the end of episode 13, if everything goes according to my thought process, you'll see some crazy stuff and really cool things. Um, but again, it might be a little bit too early to tell, but because of the characters that I see in the front cover and who I know they are, and I know how they come into play, I don't I don't see any major difference in how the light novel went compared to where they're going with this. Again, I can be completely wrong, and it throws us all like it off completely. But I think in the anime you'll see the volumes 1 through 3 for the light novel, up to volume 4. Now, I haven't got a chance to read volume 4, so I don't know 100%, but I have read up to volume 3, so I do know what goes on those series, and then that's about it. So, with that being said, if you enjoy the review, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. I'm trying to do a one a day, keep the doctor away, and go from there. Now, all these reviews will be just like this format. Going forward, I will review the episode on how I thought it was, how I liked things, didn't like things, how I would rate it, how I felt it played into the series as a whole, and then I will have a separation where I will go over more in depth on what is important and what the things you should look forward to seeing later on. So thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you next time.